Can't hear you.
Can you hear me?
You guys can't hear me?
There you go.
No, okay, now I can hear you.
All right. I don't know what's going on with the little web stuff, but all right, man. I guess the intro's kind of acting weird for today. But hey, you know what? A win's a win. But I want to see what y'all feel, man. Come on, keep it a buck, man. I don't like none of this bogus. Oh, we got Jimmy. Let it all out. Come on, let it all out, guys.
Dion.
You want me to start? Okay. Go, Dion.
You're muted, buddy.
Who's trying to go first?
Oh no, King, go ahead, bro. From one light skinned brother to another, man. Go ahead, man. We're gonna let y'all rock out, and I want to hear what everybody else feels.
Skin, you feel me? Hey, I'm just happy we won. When's the last time we beat the Seahawks, man? We couldn't even beat them last year, man. And
2019.
Terrible. You know what I'm saying? They were terrible.
3 wins in the entire Pete Carroll era since Russell Wilson came there. Yeah. 2018, 2019, and Sunday.
Okay. Go. Yeah, so like we haven't won against them in a long time, so it feels so good, man. Like that's a division rival. Games are hard to win in this league. I know everybody wants to headline the quarterback injury. I mean, everybody wanted a mobile quarterback, and we got, and he got injured, and I think you can get injured just as much from the pocket, just as you do running, especially when you don't know how to slide. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't know how to slide. You can't really blame Kyle for that, for him not knowing how to slide. But at the end of the day, man, I was riding with Lance, and now I got to ride with Jimmy now, because no matter what the quarterback's name is, man, I want us to get the victory, man. I want that logo to win. You know what I'm saying? You see that logo on your hat, Niner Game Podcast, you feel me? I want that to win. I don't want no name to win. That's all that matters to me, man. And I'm going to ride with Jimmy. I'm not going to, of course I'll get frustrated by him just like I do with Lance or any quarterback that's ever played for the Niners, no one's perfect out there, man. But at the end of the day, when he's behind center, regardless if you want to give him credit or not, like we won when he's behind there, and that's all we care about is wins. You know what I'm saying? We got some injuries at the running back position. Our third round pick, he's now going to be out for a couple weeks. Of course, Elijah Mitchell. So we just got to win the game, throwing the ball and running too. You know what I'm saying? Continue to have a balanced offense, and we got a great defensive performance yesterday, but I want to see him do it against a little better quarterback. Russell Wilson, who owned us. As every Raider fan ever, reminded me. And that's who we got to beat next week. So who found this pretty great? I want to see him do it against a great quarterback.
You're breaking up a bit.
Oh, how about now?
You're good now.
Okay, yeah, so I just want our defense to remain great as they did these first 2 games. At least for 6 of the 8 quarters, they have been great. So they just got to do it against our nemesis, Russell Wilson. We got to beat him on prime time. I'm freaking ready for that already, man. I'm just amped up, man. You get 1 win and you want another win, I get hooked. It's like doing a drug, you get 1 hit and then you want another hit. I want that win hit, So that's how I'm feeling, y'all. I'm just energized for that win, man. I was over there. I was drunk. I was faded. I was on one yesterday at the game. Woo. So, yeah, man, we got the win. We 1-1 on prime time. Let's go.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt. But, yeah, despite the win, like the way we played, yeah, we lost a quarterback. I get it, man. But Shanahan, I don't know why he kept doing that play. It is what it is. But whether we like Jimmy or not, that's our quarterback for this season. I know this sounds kind of like, I'm against Jimmy, so I'm going to put it that way. But, hey, the season is still in good hope, so we're still in good hands. But like they say, when that ex-girlfriend is still on the speed dial, Kyle Shanahan is making the phone call and say, "Come back, baby. I was just kidding."
I agree with you on that one, man. But Dave, you were there a little bit earlier when I was live. Talk to us, man. Tell us how you feeling.
Shanahan, what are you thinking? I mean, Trey Lance is a pass-first quarterback. We should be using his legs to extend plays and be a thorn in the side of the defense. That is the whole point of a mobile quarterback. Not let's use him as a running back and get the kid killed. I mean, luckily for us, the damage is all in the bones. I think there was some muscle damage, but no tendons, no ligaments got messed up. So
No,
I mean,
CG, I sent you the thing. I think.
Well, it's a similar injury to me because Trey Lance had a fractured fibula, which I had to require multiple surgeries, and that takes up to 6 months to move. Like yeah. Like
I unfortunately had a bad one where it actually tore ligaments, cartilage. I literally even broke my bones. I was in and out of a boot, had pins, plates, you name it. I mean, it was a 2-year process before I could actually walk decent.
I had 3 surgeries.
From what the beat reporters are all saying of the same statement, they're saying that it was a fractured fibula, I believe, and a dislocated ankle. So he got both things worked on today.
Yeah, and the surgeries were successful.
Yeah, it was.
Out there watching, they said that the surgeries were successful today. So now it's just a situation of us being able to, allow the kid to heal up and do different things. But go ahead, Dave.
But yeah, I mean, luckily for us, there's no hardcore permanent. We got to worry about him being the same type of damage. I mean, he'll be fine. He's going to have to rehab, get his strength back. We definitely won't see him back this season because of the heal time and the rehab time to gain your strength back.
Oh, it took me 6 months to get back to what I used to. That's no joke.
Yeah. I mean, but this also, thanks for having. I can't say it. I can't say it. Thanks for keeping. I can't say it. I mean,
thanks for the backup. That's how you can say it. You can say just thanks for the backup.
I won't.
Yeah, thanks for the backup QB. There you go.
I won't.
That's like the easiest way to do it when you don't want to say it. It's like, all right, well, but
I mean, I honestly wanted like Marcus Mariota or Tyrod Taylor or. I wanted a serviceable backup. I really wanted Jimmy G gone with a serviceable backup.
Same.
Yeah, I would like to have seen a guy that would have been more like Trey Lance. And honestly, Tyrod Taylor's a great call out because he's actually very safe with the ball. Like he is. He truthfully does not commit turnovers like that.
He even play football right now. He got hurt in the Jets game and on the last
week. He's suing a doctor. He's suing a doctor right now.
Well, probably so. Yeah. I mean, hey, look, sidebar on this. I'll say this. I feel like the injury to Tyrod Taylor was a complete crock of shit, and it was done on purpose. Because how do you randomly just poke somebody? Oh, when he was in
you're talking about the Chargers. Okay.
Yeah, he got poked in the lungs. Really? Accidentally? Now, y'all wanted Justin Herbert to start. Y'all just couldn't justify benching Taylor openly and having not a real reason. So what happens? Boom. Here we go. Poke lung. Well, look at that. Tyrod can't play. Oh, look, Justin's here. Wow, look, it's his team. Never mind. We're good. That's just. But I didn't mean to interrupt, Dave. My bad, brother.
Oh, you did. I look at this like this does severely hinder his development, though. I mean, here's another year he's not going to be getting reps. He is going to have another offseason working out with our wide receivers, working out with the quarterbacks coach, hopefully John Beck and, company again. But, I mean, the kid needs game reps. Nothing simulates game reps like game reps.
Yep.
And now we're back to having Jimmy G, which, I mean, I hope no other team is listening to me, but all you got to do is stack the box, stop the run, and make him try to beat you, and that's the formula for beating us now.
Yep, that's pretty much how it works for stopping Jimmy because Jimmy's very limited. He can't throw a deep shot pass. I mean, if it's anything like higher than 25 yards or more, forget about it. You ain't gonna get Jimmy to throw a deep pass. Speaking of the Niners, they're definitely gonna go work out a quarterback. So it seems like, hey, you know who's available out there? I don't want to sound like a jokester, but I heard Ben DiNucci is out there available.
That's funny.
Man, who is out there, man? Who is out there, honestly?
Not even desperate Cowboys want him anymore.
Not even the Cowboys, huh?
So yeah, Melissa, go right ahead. Tell us how you feeling.
All right. How can I say this without being a complete asshole? I'm not happy. Plain and simple. I'm not happy that he's here. I'm not happy he's playing. I'm not backing down. I am not happy about the injury. I'm not going to blame anybody. I'm not going to blame the player or the coach because shit happens and freak injuries happen. And this isn't like some like thing that could have been avoided. We were all holding our breath ever since the Detroit game last year with these stupid runs up the middle. And I'm not going to blame anybody. Just shit happens. Sometimes people fall on you and things break. Navarro Bowman's perfect proof of that. Just it's a rough sport. And you may hate it, you may get angry about it, you want to blame somebody, and I'm cool with that. It helps you with your emotions and calming down and whatever the hell, venting, c'est la vie, but I'm not backing down. I've said repeatedly, I want Jimmy gone. I still want Jimmy the hell gone out of here. I don't think this is safe. I don't think this is going to bring anything but misery. I'm not rooting actively against my Niners, so please understand that. I will never, ever, ever actively root against this team. But if there's a win, I'm not giving Jimmy credit. I don't care what the hell he does. I don't care if he wins the 6th chip. I don't care what the hell he does. I want him gone, period. I hate that the second that this injury happened and that first freaking touchdown happened, everybody was acting like Trey didn't exist anymore. Like everyone was like all piling around with him, slapping him, hugging him, putting him in the middle of like a mosh pit pile, like celebrating. Oh, Jimmy's back, our savior's back, our hero's back, blah, blah, blah. Like all the things that we were worried about were proven in less than a freaking 20-minute span. Like, so no, I'm not happy. I'm not gonna like go out on Twitter and freak out and whine and bitch and just bring misery to everyone. But my honest opinion is I am not okay with him here. I'm not okay with him being our quarterback. That does not mean that I will not watch this offense and defense and celebrate what they do. But I do not like him.
Okay. So to be honest with you, this was kind of like there's no point of arguing with these Jimmy stands. Now they're already acting like they won a damn victory lap over this because Trey got hurt. And I'm still against Jimmy on this, but I'm not going to root against my team. And, hey, Jimmy's our guy until otherwise. And it's sad that we got to deal with
I don't blame you, and I don't blame the people who are like, well, if he does win the chip, then maybe I'll change my mind if he proves something to me. I respect everyone and how they feel. The thing is, you will not budge me on this.
Yeah, stay.
I don't like Kyle Juszczyk. I'm never gonna change on that. That's just how I feel.
I don't like Jimmy Ward. And I'm never
I don't like
Mike McGlinchey.
I don't like Ross Dwelly. I think he's a freaking liability, and I don't like that he's used so much to try to prove that he can block. Get over it. Right now, his strength is freaking catching the ball, and he barely is used for that. Like, stop using him on special teams. Stop using him as a freaking blocker or a decoy or whatever, because this is not his strength. Like, use Charlie Warner. Let the guy get some freaking reps. This is how I feel. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I'm not going to back down because all the favorite pods are telling me that I'm held wrong. That's their opinion.
Right.
This is my opinion.
You have every right to say what you want to say, and you're right about Ross Dwelly. He's not quite a good blocker. He's just a solid receiving tight end, nothing special. Like Kyle Juszczyk, I get it. He's a traditional fullback.
But the pathetic thing is he had a touchdown yesterday, so all the freaking stands are out there saying, oh, Ross is better than George Kittle again. Like, this is a storyline. And you know what the worst part about this all, and I know it sucks that a 22-year-old just lost another year in his career, and I'm not trying to take away from that, but the absolute worst part, and it hasn't even happened yet, but it's starting to ink through, is that all the stands and all the people who hate George Kittle are going to come out in full force saying that George benched himself on purpose to avoid Trey Lance, and now he's magically better and uninjured because now Jimmy's playing quarterback again. That's going to be the next big fucking storyline that we all have to deal with.
That's what I'm thinking.
That makes me sick to my freaking stomach.
That's what my guess is. Like, you know, Kittle could have played against Seattle, but I think there was something in that factor. I don't know. Do you guys think that's a theory that's going on, that maybe Kittle just doesn't want to play with Trey?
He had a groin injury, and then you can't rush that shit back.
No, I don't think so, man.
We did that with Drake Greenlaw last year, and what happened? He was on and he was off. He was on and he was off.
Facts. Okay, that's fair.
So I think Kittle's actually injured. I mean, he gave it a go Friday. He was actually at practice, and that's when he figured out that he's not ready for the game.
Thank you.
But I mean, you know that's going to give people ammo though. From what Izzy's saying there, it really is.
That is true.
But I mean, I honestly think the guy is injured, and it's not avoiding Trey Lance. Those people are just playing wrong.
I mean, he would have missed his own national freaking holiday last year if he could help it. The team says more than anything else, we have to protect Kittle from himself, because if we let him, he'd just go out there like a freaking bowling ball and just destroy, and he wouldn't protect himself. He just wants to play football.
Yep. So for me, this is my outlook on the situation. It hurts that we lost our franchise quarterback on a bullshit play because our head coach decided that he wanted to run him like a running back. And here's the thing. Is it football? Do people get injured all the time? Yes. Are people most likely playing through injuries on 90% of those snaps? Yes. Here's the thing, though. If you don't run your quarterback every chance you get, you don't have these types of injuries. You lessen the percentage of him getting injured by keeping him in the pocket. Trey, as David said, is a throw-first quarterback. He's not a run-first quarterback. So what you could do is you could basically tell him, get through your reads, get through your progressions, provided you have the time, and, nobody slipped up on the O-line. Next thing you do is, if there's nothing there, take off. And in the process of taking off, protect yourself. Please, we need you. Kyle didn't do that. Kyle put him in harm's way, and he ran him into the ground. And what bothered me the most was exactly the same thing that bothered Melissa. It's the way the team reacted. It's like y'all all right there telling the man that, dapping him up, hey, everything's going to be okay, blah, 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 yada, yada. But then the next thing you know, the minute Jimmy scores a touchdown, y'all celebrating like we just won a fucking Super Bowl. Everybody's over there loving on him and everything. And I don't expect them to be on the field and to be negative towards Jimmy Garoppolo. I doubt that highly. It's not going to happen. And it won't happen in the open public. But I can tell you right now, there's still staunch supporters of Jimmy Garoppolo in this locker room. Juice, McGlinchey, Kittle, Trent Williams, Deebo Samuel. There's a lot of guys that are Jimmy guys. And what people don't realize is you can tell a team one thing, but doesn't mean that they have to go along with it. Kyle would not dedicate this team to Trey openly until almost
the last possible freaking second.
The last possible second. So
when they thought he wouldn't take the backup deal, yeah.
So what kills me is you really think that this locker room didn't have some dissension within the ranks of guys who were staunch Jimmy supporters versus guys who were not? Because I can tell you right now, when Trey Lance got hurt, there were two people that were pissed off, Danny Gray and Brandon Ayuk. You know why? Danny Gray has just become obsolete. Sorry, wasted pick. He ain't going to see the ball. Why? He going to be open, and Jimmy ain't going to throw it. Why? Because he can't throw downfield.
Didn't they have footage of Danny Gray losing his shit on Garoppolo during the game?
They said it.
Twice?
It was reported that he said that he basically chewed Garoppolo out because he was wide open twice and he didn't hit him. And here's the thing. You won't wind up getting those plays, Danny Gray. So here's what you're going to have to do. You're going to need to – Jerry is always around the Niners. What's going on, Tommy? And remember, people out there, Tommy, that's just who the fuck he is. That's just how he talks, so no one cares. So here's the thing. You're going to have to learn how to run real routes and become a more polished receiver if you're going to ever want to see the ball from Jimmy Garoppolo. Because Danny Gray can be crazy dynamic with the speed that he has. He just has to be better on his route running, which we know he has to improve on. So,
Dan, I want to ask you a question real quick before you go off. You think he gets adopted by the Yak Bros and starts getting handoffs and just running it like Debo was?
Maybe.
I don't know. That all depends on Kyle.
That's the only way I can see Danny Gray
Yeah,
is handoffs and then just make something happen.
Well, it is, and it all depends on Kyle and what he wants to do. Honestly, I think that Kyle's just going to go back to the old playbook, and that's what she's talking about. Tommy just tweets for Danny Gray. It would be nice because if he gets into the right crease, that speed can take him home. Yep. See, Debo's big run that he had yesterday, Debo was about 40 to 60 yards. That's where his speed is. Other than that, he gonna get caught.
Danny, if he gets the right protection downfield, can go for 70, 80, 90 yards.
Yeah. He runs a 4.33, so he's quick.
So he's got the speed. So here's the thing. When I look at it, you ran Lance into the ground. The man threw the ball 3 times. But magically, when Jimmy comes in the game, you start throwing the ball. That's suspect as hell to me. So that tells me that you don't trust Trey as a passer, and you wouldn't allow him to develop as a passer because you ran him into the ground. So when 10 comes back in, magically we start throwing the ball all over the goddamn field. And you know what happened? People started to give Jimmy Garoppolo credit. Oh, he looks great. He looks this. Oh, look at his shoulder. That lasted for that drive before halftime. And you know what happened after that drive? The real Jimmy Garoppolo showed up. That's exactly what happened. He started missing throws. He started throwing hospital balls again. All of the things that Jimmy Garoppolo previously did started to show themselves up. It started to rear its ugly head. The issue is when you see Jimmy go do a quarterback sneak, well, what is that point? Like, okay, it's from the 1 yard line.
I do miss you crazy man.
So the other thing that threw me off was we had 4th and 8 with Trey Lance and we were in the red zone. I'm sorry, no, that's 4th and 8 with Jimmy Garoppolo. We were not in the red zone, but you decided to go for it. But we had 4th and less than that. I think it was only maybe a yard. And what's going on, Sajid? And you wouldn't even try it with Trey Lance. You kicked the field goal. So that's confusing to me. You're going to try it on 4th and 8 with 10, knowing this motherfucker is inaccurate and the shit that he does is completely confusing. But you have a viable quarterback that can get you that first down. The run game was working ridiculously well. And you can't do that. You can't allow this guy to go ahead and do what he needs to do. And you gave Jordan Mason no love. You only ran TDP. Now, TDP has a high ankle sprain, so you have to give Jordan Mason some love.
Yep.
That's going to make Anthony Lynn happy because he's been raving about the kid all offseason. And that's
I don't trust them to do it. I really think they're going to go right back to freaking Debo and Jeff Wilson Jr. again.
Or Marlon Mack.
And it's crazy to me the way that this team will run these guys down to the ground and then be like, oops, we don't have any running backs anymore. Like what makes you special in 2019 was actually using these guys off and on, and so that you didn't run them into the ground. It's the one time you didn't, and it's just like it's beyond frustrating because, like, okay, well, you're doing this whole thing where you're like kind of like saving the passing game for the big opponents, you know, like you're saving him for Russell Wilson, you're saving him for the Rams or whatever. You don't want to show your hand too early, and so in the meantime, you hurt your quarterback, you hurt your running backs by running them too much, and then you won't actually give these guys a chance to prove themselves on the actual field until you're out of options.
Yeah, so it's very frustrating because your leading rushers are Trey Lance and Deebo Samuel, both of whom are not running backs. And honestly, I take that back, my bad, because Jeff Wilson Jr. was the leading rusher. But what's weird is Jeff Wilson Jr., the run game was working the whole time Trey Lance was in. You know why? Because you have to account for Trey Lance being a possible runner. But then you look at other situations that go about in the game, and that's what happens. Brandon Ayuk is a diehard Trey Lance guy, and he said that. And he openly stated that when they interviewed the players after the game. And I can tell you right now, I don't believe a fucking word out of Mike McGlinchey's mouth. I believe that he's happy that Trey got hurt. I believe that he is happy that Jimmy Garoppolo is back being the starter. And I don't believe he ever wanted to block for Trey. You know why? Because in the Lions, in the Bears game, when he got hit, he just ran to the sideline. Pick your quarterback up. Support the guy. That's the problem. Like, you can't have that type of dissension within the ranks. So I don't believe that McGlinchey is really hurt.
McGlinchey has never been checked, and it's been that way since he had a hand in picking Aaron Banks to be picked. And he was saying, guys, you got to take my guy that went to school with me. Like, at the end of the day, if there's one player I legitimately believe has issues with the changeover, it's definitely McGlinchey.
What were you going to say, King?
You know, like Mike McGlinchey, he hasn't blocked for anybody since he's been here. No matter what the quarterback's name is, man, he's garbage, man. Like he's my shit list player. Just like, you know, yours is Jimmy Ward, yours is Juice, and mine is McGlinchey, man.
I don't call him a shit player. I just think he's a selfish asshole who goes and says that all fullbacks should have a starting job and should be featured and should have careers, but then you're purposely holding back other fullbacks because you don't want to leave this team in your Uber payday and let somebody else get a shot.
Yeah,
it's hypocritical.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing with this, Tommy. I don't care if my O-line coach is screaming at me. I'm still picking up my quarterback that I was supposed to protect and apologizing for letting him get killed. That's the thing. Like that's what I mean. Like the cohesion.
That's good sportsmanship.
Hold on. The cohesion that you should have when you have a new quarterback in the room should be undeniable. Everybody must be on the same page. And I don't feel that there was any way you could achieve such by still having 10 in this locker room. People don't believe me when I say that, but I'm going to tell you right now. Put like this. It's like working for a bank. All of us in this stream right now work for a bank. CG has been our guy. God knows how long. But they say, you know what? We need to diversify. We need to change things up a little bit. CG is going to take a step back. Melissa is now the person in charge. And what do? We say, all right, cool. You know, we're going to roll with Melissa. We like Melissa. But slowly and quietly behind her back, we're like, man, you know, if she messed up a couple of times, we about to snitch that out. There are a couple things we don't like. You know, we're going to make sure the upper management knows so that way CG can get back into his spot. I'm not with that shit. If it was a situation like that, you know what I'm going to do? All right, Melissa, it's on you. Lead us. Take us where we need to go.
Take us the way.
Do what we need to do. But you don't do that. So it looks bad. And I'm going to tell you right now, this gives me RG3 vibes. Because they destroyed RG3. Why? The Shanahans don't like that type of quarterback. It's very simple. They do not like an athletic African-American quarterback. They like a typical stand in the pocket white quarterback that can move to an extent. He can move to avoid a sack, but he doesn't run all the time, which is why he wanted Kirk Cousins, because Kirk Cousins ain't the most mobile guy in the world, but he's not a statue either. So he can move a little bit, but he still is able to do what you want him to do. And you know he's going to give you good stats. But here's the issue. You can't do that when you just drafted a young quarterback that has all of those intangibles. And now you got an RG3 issue where you ran this kid into the ground. Now you're back to 10. Now, here's my question to Shanahan, what mine would have been, because when Grant Cohn asked him about the play, he got a little snarky and he got defensive. And it's like, bro, people are saying that this is your fault that this quarterback got injured. It's no one else's. It's yours. So the next thing is, I would have come in and said, had this been a 4 to 6 week injury when Trey was healthy, would this be his team? And if he'd have looked at me and got snarky, I'd have been like, don't be upset and don't get snarky with me. I'm a reporter. I'm asking you a legit question. I don't need you to dance around it. I need you to answer me yes or no. If Trey Lance would come back off of a 4 to 6 week injury, no matter what the record is this his team? Are you handing him back the reins, putting him back in the starting lineup, and trusting that this young kid can take you to the promised land where you didn't trust this previous quarterback to take you because you've been trying to get rid of him for several years. See, I'm going to ask the asshole questions that nobody's going to ask, and I'm going to force you to answer me properly. And if you get me kicked out of the room, so be it. That will tell the media and the world the truth of who you are because you weren't willing to answer the question. So in the process of all of this, it just tells me I feel like it's almost open sabotage. That's my opinion, not anyone else's on this panel. I'm not going to sit up there and cast my aspersions off on anyone else. That's just to me. I feel like it was open sabotage. He never wanted Trey Lance. He probably did want Mac Jones or possibly Zach Wilson. And the thing is, Wilson wasn't there, along with the fact that they probably told him Jones is basically a Jimmy clone. You're not going to draft another Jimmy Garoppolo. You've been trying to get rid of the dude for the past couple of years. It doesn't make sense. So he probably got forced into drafting Trey Lance, and now we're at this unfortunate crossroads. But that's just my take on the situation, and I won't change that. I'm not one of those people who feels that Kyle Shanahan is above reproach. I do know that we're stuck with him for the next couple of years, but now we just got to deal with the fact that Jimmy is here. And this is an audition year for him. Do you know that he actually made 350 G's just for playing yesterday? 350 G's. And that's just part of his incentives, which will now be met in full in every which way you can think of because he's playing the rest of the season. Because Kyle got our quarterback injured. So that to me automatically says this is auditioning for teams next year. And it's easier for teams to go out and shell out some money to you. Why? Because they don't have no worries. The 49ers can't franchise you. They can't trade you, and they definitely can't trade you now because they need you, along with the fact that they couldn't trade you wherever they wanted to trade you in the first place because, like, stupidly, they gave you a no-trade clause like they owe you some shit. So, unfortunately.
I really don't think he wanted to go anywhere else.
No, he did. He wanted. He said in his post-game interview that there were several teams that were interested in getting involved before the Niners got involved. But what kills me is if these teams were interested in getting involved and they were asking questions, why isn't John Lynch answering those calls? Why is John Lynch holding back on allowing you to get the fuck out of the building?
So you're saying you believe Jimmy Garoppolo, the big whiny baby that this franchise has mollycoddled for years, over the actual front of the franchise that says that nobody was interested in?
I wouldn't put it past the front office. Look at the way they handled this situation from the jump. Like Kyle Shanahan, John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan most likely are looking for a first-round pick for Jimmy Garoppolo. And you're just not going to get it. You're literally legitly banking on a quarterback going down. And I believe they figured they were going to be able to dupe someone into giving them more than Jimmy Garoppolo was worth. And him coming out and openly stating, yeah, there were several teams involved. What reason does he have to lie? Now, at this point,
I think he has a lot of reasons to lie because he barely got this guaranteed money, and he was looking to make payday, and not anyone was jumping. Like, there are desperate teams.
But think about it like this:
very desperate teams that just
the Colts are screwing
would
up
not give him a chance.
Yeah, but I mean, look at it like this: after Jimmy Garoppolo winds up being fully clear, fully healed, and we restructure his contract. You mean to tell me there were teams that weren't jumping at the chance to go get him because now he's cheaper and now all I have to do is hold on to him and I can possibly kill all those incentives and still make this a bargain deal for myself because he has all of those things in his contract.
But all those teams already made their moves, though. Think about it. The Steelers already made all their moves. They weren't going to go and get another quarterback. The Panthers are capped as it is with all the moves they made for the quarterback. The friggin' Falcons are banking on the hope that Mariota can do enough till their draft pick is ready. The freaking Colts went and took another old-ass quarterback to hope to God to hold on to whatever hell.
But look at what happened with Dallas.
The New York Football Giants are desperate to prove that they did not blow up the freaking Daniel Jones pick. They were beyond desperate. And then when they got Tyrod Taylor, he got injured that last week. And then they had to cut Davis Webb because, he's a Michigana and they don't have any healthy players. Even Kayvon Thibodeau's hurt. Dallas.
Holy shit! Did you just call Davis Webb a Meshuggah?
Yes.
I haven't heard that word. God damn!
Hey, you want to know?
Slang going on?
You know what's kind of funny, man? The Colts are probably regretting this. Maybe they should have got Jimmy Garoppolo. Maybe they would have won some games. Look at Matt Ryan now. He ain't doing shit over there in Indianapolis.
Hey, it is what it is. But to be honest with you, there are some positives from this game. And I'm going to say this, and I'm going to take credit because I like this guy from the jump. I just hated the school he came from.
Time. Let's go.
That was Hufanga. Let me tell y'all something, man. This kid is a fucking star. That young man, if he continues on the trajectory that he's on, he's only going to get better. He's definitely going to the Pro Bowl. He's definitely going to be first team All-Pro. And when Jimmy Ward gets back, it's only going to get worse. And I mean that in a good way. Talanoa Hufanga was fucking amazing yesterday.
Ward might return against the Rams. That's even worse for the Rams.
I'm saying. Like, this is the perfect time. Talanoa Hufanga is exactly what I stated he was. He is a hybrid safety linebacker, and they're using him as such. And think about it. If you put Jimmy Ward back there, that's going to be an awesome thing. Through 2 games, we have 3 interceptions. That's beautiful. We didn't have interceptions last year. This defense.
And did you see that he was right there on what was it, the Warner pick?
Yeah.
And he just sat back there because he knew that Warner would get it?
Yeah. I mean, no, that was Gibson.
Oh, Gibson.
That was Gibson.
So there were 2 picks in the game, one from Mooney from the DJ Dallas attempted pass, which was
what was Dallas doing?
Thinking. I have no idea why they tried that. Mooney picked that off. That was great. And then the other pick was Huff almost had it, but that tip literally allowed Gibson to come over and just take the gift that was given to him by Talanoa. But Hufanga is, Tommy, you can kiss my motherfucking ass. Fuck USC. He always jabs at me, and I hate that.
Yeah, I have bad news for you on that front.
Yeah, but
I told John V. I was trying to get into college football because there's always Buckeyes, there's always Michigan, there's like all this stuff on Twitter.
Oh, you?
So I was like, I gotta try. I tried like a few different teams. I didn't really like anybody, and I hate to break this to you, but I think USC might be my team.
That's okay.
Oklahoma. Okay.
I'm really. I tried Oregon, and then I was like, I really can't get into Oregon. I tried.
I'll tell you right now, Oregon got the best motherfucking the best unis in college football ever.
How about Oklahoma?
Oh, trust me, that hurt my eyes. Like the way they keep changing the field and the uniforms, and
I love it. I don't know. I like it. The shit looks flagged out to me.
And then I'm reminded that both Defoe and Armstead are from there, and I had so many issues with Armstead before he was moved inside. So it's like, I love Talanoa. I've been like banging on the table for Talanoa and Elijah ever since they were drafted, and everyone's like, "Oh, what the hell are you talking about? These are late rank guys. They're going to be scrubs." Blah blah blah.
This is where we make our money in the 5th round.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we do. Like I love the 5th and 6th rounders. I love DJ Jones. I love Drake Greenlaw. I love all of them. And let's talk about Drake Greenlaw being extended. I'm so excited.
Actually, hey, look, he got his money.
So part of the reason
he got his money. I'm happy for him. He had a fantastic game on top of that. That was great. But Kyle said in his press conference that he gave him a little shit about not shutting them out. Kyle, you can't give them shit about doing what they actually did because they did shut them out. That special teams touchdown is not on defense. They can't go out there and play for special teams. That was on special teams. That was on Ross Dwelly for not blocking the guy like he was fucking supposed to, being a dumbass and letting him get around. So,
but do you think that Kyle would have gone and whined about that so much if he wasn't already on his snarky ass behavior because everyone's blaming him for Trey's injury? This is what he does. He avoids just like Jimmy does. That's why Jimmy learned that behavior from. He
may. I don't think he would have, but I mean that was our biggest bright spot in the game. The defense balling, consistent pressure on Geno Smith, and then exposing the Seahawks offense for what it really was. Like, we barely gave them 40 yards rushing at combined. And that's what I tried to tell people when I did a crossover show with shout out to Gina, Gina repping the Bay. I did a crossover show with her and some ladies that were Seahawks content creators. And they, you know, when I said that they didn't have no run game, they kind of looked like I was tripping. And I'm like, look at what happened.
But they haven't for years.
Shut this down. And then at the same time, all their running backs wind up getting injured. But what did you think about the defense real quick, Dave? Because I want to make sure that everybody speaks.
I think King wanted to say something first.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. As far as what I think what the defense did, like I said, it was against that bad Seahawks offense. So, like I said, I want to see it do it against better competition. Nick Bosa though, man, when he had like 7 pressures, 2 sacks, man, he was really getting it in as always. Nick the Quick, Bosa, he's playing like a king out there, man. Like
Nick at night.
Hey, did you see Drake Jackson on that second sack that Nick had? He overshot, but he came right back to help finish up that play. That kid, I'm telling you, man, like
he's a baller.
Balling for the Niners.
You're giving USC props again.
I'm not. No, I'm not. I'm giving Drake Jackson props.
This
is who I'm rooting for. This is who you say that.
Nah, get some Oklahoma players. Get some good ass O-line.
Oklahoma does produce very good O-linemen, i.e. Trent Williams. That's where he went. But Dave, how did you feel about this defense, real quick?
Oh, the defense. Me.
Oh yeah. You go ahead and finish up how you felt about defense. I want to hear Dave's thoughts too. He was smiling the whole time I was talking about Huff, so I know he got something good in the tank.
I mean, I'll give it a plus. They were flying around, playing mad, playing angry. Shutting everything down. All the units. D-line, linebackers, corners, man, safeties. Like I said, Hufanga. You know what? Like, he's a hybrid safety linebacker. He's kind of like Debo, but on defense. Like he's used a multitude of ways like that, and he scares everybody with his speed and power, just as Debo does. So,
well, can you just do me one big favor? Can you please just repeat that? Can you just say that he impresses with speed and power one more time? Because I've heard nothing but people brag on his speed and his 40 time. Like, I just as a favor, please, can you repeat that one more time?
His speed and power, the combination of speed and power scares people, man. It's gonna be a force.
And shout out to Tony from Nothing But Niners, because he always said that he didn't care for the underwear Olympics, which is the 40-yard dash. And I mean,
it's overrated.
It's the truth of it. You have to think about it like this: there are players that are born with natural speed, i.e., Tyreek Hill, Raheem Mostert. There are players that don't have natural speed, Richard Sherman.
Fitzgerald.
But the difference is when you don't have the speed, if you have the mental makeup for it, that is exactly how you substitute what you're lacking. Richard Sherman was a fantastic defensive back in that zone scheme, and he was previously a wide receiver. The man literally got converted when he got drafted because he was a wide receiver at Stanford.
He knew all the receivers' weakness. He knew the.
So you understand what a receiver has to do from an offensive standpoint. So when you flip to the other side of the ball, that's easy, which is why I was saying all offseason, if people are looking for a DB, Al Young from Jackson State was the perfect guy. He played wide receiver and switched over to DB. But, Dave, man, talk to us, baby. I know you got something in there.
So, when it comes down to it, I don't quite know. I mean, I'm actually listening to another stream where they're talking about Trey Lance's injury right now. Mm-hmm. And I can't honestly find video on it to see what happened. I did not get to see the game. I don't live in the Bay Area. And it sucks because they showed the Texans and the Broncos, so I got to see a preview of the game of the team we're playing next week.
If real quick, Dave, if you have an issue watching the game, get with me. My boy Brandon does playback.
Get playback.
He's doing it. Yeah, he's doing get playback. He does it every week, so you can watch all the games with us, and you can see how crazy we get and shit.
I might need to get the app too because I'm at my job.
It's getplayback.com/room/Forever Faithful Podcast is the entire link.
Yeah. Well, I need to get in because sometimes at my job I don't even have a TV, so it's hard.
You just all you got to do, and then you can. I think playback is an app, but go ahead, Dave.
So when it comes to our team, by the numbers, we have allowed 420 total yards over 2 games.
Yep.
I mean, we're going up against the Broncos, who are still figuring it out next week. I honestly think we're going to end up with the number 1 overall defense. Hopefully, I'm knocking on wood here. And Nick Bosa, hitting the quarterback. How many he had 2 sacks and 5 QB hits in the game yesterday, and was getting double and triple teamed.
Wait, was there something on Twitter earlier saying we were the number 1 defense throughout the first 2 weeks, pending tonight's 2 games?
I think
already
we've allowed the least amount of points, and we have the top pass defense, I believe.
Okay.
But run defense is in between the middle, I think, if I'm mistaken.
Well, I mean, didn't we only allow we didn't even allow 40 yards this last game, did we?
We allowed
38 total.
38 total, but the last game against the Bears, I think they had 100 total, but I think they decreased that, so maybe we're in the top 10 in run defense.
But I mean, last year we were among the top in pass defense, but we had Josh Norman to give up all those penalties, so that kind of negated that.
Those free yards, you know what it was about playing against Seattle? They were just giving us the yards. They say, "Hey, you can take this much." No, not the end zone. And we just punch them in the face. Say, "Screw you guys, we're gonna score."
Oh wait, 34-7. The Titans are getting their ass whooped.
Tennessee?
I was just looking.
Tennessee lost to the
myself.
freaking Giants. If anyone picked Tennessee this week thinking that they were going to beat the Bills like they normally beat the Bills, you are kidding me. Because this team has not been the same ever since A.J. Brown left.
The Bills are legit.
Quick. Yeah, this is real quick. Buffalo is for real.
Yeah, they are.
They're not playing. And I'm going to tell you right now.
They just had a huge injury, though. Micah Hyde's being escorted off the field.
Oh, shit. That's bad.
But getting Von Miller is big because he brings that
veteran. Did you see him?
Against the Rams.
God, bro. Against the Rams, he was a monster.
He was all over the
Broncos, Von Miller.
Oh, yeah. He was back to it. But, yeah, man. The stupidest thing they did was trade A.J. Brown. Because no matter how much you like Derrick Henry, you can't run him all the time. You literally cannot
need at least one other option. The time of having one superstar on offense is not enough anymore. Because if your entire defense is concentrated on stopping that one guy, then what the hell are you going to do with anything else?
Facts. That's facts.
Oh, Philly's up 21-7 too. Damn.
Yeah, Green Bay proved that. I mean, when he only went to Devontae Adams, it didn't matter if anyone else was open because you knew it wasn't going anywhere else.
I got a gut feeling that the NFC will come down between the Niners and Eagles and potentially the Rams and maybe Bucks because it's undecided because NFC is wide open.
Very much so.
Niners are the front runner in my opinion.
Yeah, the Dolphins and the Bills are going to be fighting.
Can we just talk about how weird it is the New York Football Giants are undefeated?
Yeah, no, it's not weird at all.
Would Jim Carrey at quarterback? Would Jim Carrey play quarterback?
They have not had a first round. First.
They didn't start
win in 10 years.
They went to the playoffs or something.
They have not had a first week win in 10 years.
Yeah,
and now they have 2 in a row. I'm not saying that the Giants are going to take over the East. I'm not my dad. I'm not going to buy this whole win streak they got going on. But the fact that they are undefeated right now is kind of crazy. And their big superstars in the game again are all former Niners. Tanner Hudson, Richie James Jr., and Matt freaking Breida.
Richie James.
Oh, yeah. Some cast off.
Yes.
This is true. And when it comes down to the New York Giants, even a blind squirrel finds a nut every now and again, and they found 2. So
they have 3 there.
And their quarterback looks like Jim Carrey. Come on. Let's be real.
Daniel Jones looks like one of those face swaps. You took 2 Manning brothers, you pushed them together. You got Daniel Jones.
I caught that. No, I'm telling you. Hey, here's the thing. Daniel Jones, if he keeps playing well, then he'll continue to progress, and that's
get a
good.
new contract.
But the unfortunate situation is, hey man, at the end of the day, bro, the only thing that's gonna live in infamy is the fact that you did not know how to control your damn body, and he was clocked as 22 miles an hour. That's pretty hard to reach. So it tells you Daniel Jones got some goddamn speed.
He's got some wheels.
He's got some straight line wheels, but he doesn't know how to control his body. He tripped over his own feet. That shit is going to last for the rest of your life. Anybody that meets you is going to go, how the fuck did you trip over your own feet?
I live in New Jersey, and I know for like people who don't live here, that's the thing that's funny. But this area will never forgive the butt fumble. For all the infamy, the butt fumble will always
Sanchez.
Butt fumble Sanchez,
I'm
but Jim Carrey, the Jim Carrey run is more funnier. How do you fumble? How do you fumble? I don't call him Daniel Jones. I call him Jim Carrey. He didn't
fumble. He tripped. He literally tripped
on
the Eagles field, which was not MetLife turf. It's not like the hardest substance in the world.
Was gone.
And there was not a soul around him for 20 yards. He just he started running. He just saw the end zone in front of him, and he just like psyched himself out, and he tripped.
And this is what I would tell you. Just coming from a previous track runner. There are some people that don't understand how to control their body properly while they're running. So sometimes what will happen is mentally you will do exactly what Melissa said. Psych yourself out like, oh shit, I'm really moving this fast. What the fuck? And next thing you know, something stupid happens because you didn't focus. And this running is the simplest thing in the world.
It's also the same reason why these guys would like start slowing down when they see the end zone, or they're like, "Oh, I'm gonna have that magic moment, that Bud Light moment, that I'm gonna pose and I'm gonna look real cool, and people are gonna talk about me on ESPN and like saying you got mossed or whatever." And then they
talk about you, all right.
that catches up to you and punches out the ball, and then you turn over the ball. You don't even get a touchdown. The ball goes to the other team on a touchback or something like that. Yeah. Like these guys get so in their head and in love with the idea they're gonna have that big moment that everyone talks about that they just completely screw everything up.
Yeah, just like Deshaun Jackson did that shit when he was a rookie. He did that shit on Monday night. That shit was stupid.
Are you any of you guys old enough to remember when Leon Lett grabbed the ball, ran down, and was like celebrating, and BB ran up and knocked the ball out through the end zone?
Yes, I'm old enough to remember that.
Yep, Thanksgiving Day.
Yeah, those were the days. Those were the blooper days. Those were like the folly days where they got a little too cocky at the time. But man, dude,
Cowboys, you know how they are.
Hey, but look at the Cowboys. They're winning with Rush. I guess Dak ain't doing it because he's out for at least a month or something.
That's because the Bengals are like, oh, we improved our offensive line. Oh, wait, he's getting sacked just as much as he was last year, if not more.
Bengals are just in deep shambles because they're not the same.
Super Bowl hangover. I believe, you know, all the injuries we had and all that stuff in 2020, that's actually what I blame it on, the Super Bowl loss hangover. And I don't know if the Bengals can recover from what they're going through right now.
Is anybody else not impressed by the Rams? Because I was not impressed that the Falcons almost beat them.
They almost
Rams
did.
are overhyped, man. They're overhyped. They don't got no team.
We know how to stop Stafford. We know how to limit him. We just
limit Aaron Donald too. You know,
but we got Aaron.
Go right at Ramsey.
No, but Aaron Banks and Burford will probably deal with Aaron Donald well. So
yeah.
So this next week, doesn't the Rams have to play the Cardinals?
Yeah, they might choke that game.
Who are going to be flying high from that crazy victory? They
against the Raiders.
I mean,
oh, you mean the great All-Pro that deserved to have All-Pro over Nick Bosa last year with the great Max Crosby?
Where was he at?
That great, wonderful guy and that great tight end that was so much better than George Kittle.
Darren Waller.
That wonderful, great, all-purpose, right there under Travis Kelce is the greatest thing to ever happen since sliced bread.
And now
the Raiders are overrated.
Oh, Josh McDaniel hired. Is that going to get them to the Super Bowl?
Oh, and don't even get me started on the Devontae Adams overuse and them like, oh my God, why isn't Devontae catching crap?
He's buddy. I got my college buddy to play with now. Everything's
he's the next Aaron Rodgers. He's going to be a Hall of Famer. That's
he's a Hall of Famer too. It's going from one Hall of Famer to the next Hall of Famer.
Yeah, the only one who's looking like he wasn't just talking out of his ass is Tyreek Hill about Tua, because Tua's looked pretty good.
Tua's balling out. I ain't
especially on Sunday.
He hit those far pass. They're wide open, but he hit them.
That's a legit team that everybody's sleeping on. I think Miami's for real.
They're gonna go right at the Bills for that division. I'm telling you.
Forget about the Patriots. They're not gonna even make the playoffs with Mac Jones this year.
I have the Patriots as the last in that division. I really believe that, because there's no way that's sustainable.
Not with the
Raiders
Dolphins.
aren't making the playoffs.
Raiders ain't even gonna get pat. They're gonna be fourth place in their division with Josh McDaniels. Egotistic.
Exactly. Josh McDaniels is from the Patriots coaching tree, and who have they produced? The Titans head coach, but right now they're getting destroyed by the Bills. It's like they're dead. You can stop now.
But hiring Josh McDaniels is just like hiring another John Gruden, but the worst version. Yeah. This is just like John Gruden 2.0, but the same bullshit. Like, dude, he ain't getting nobody.
You know what it is? It's the quarterback effect. Josh McDaniels is getting too much credit for what Tom Brady did. So it's like Adam Gase got the big job in New York. He got too much credit for what Peyton Manning did.
Yeah.
Yep.
Hey, shout out to Sajin real quick, man. He says, I came here to this channel because I have fun here. Just wanted to say thanks. We appreciate you coming in, man, and being a good sport. We definitely do. And it's always good for other people to hang out in the chats. We don't mind the back and forth banter and stuff like that, man. It's all love. So it's definitely cool, man. And yes, we do not want the Rams repeating shit.
Yes, you're right about.
Don't worry. With their arm fitness having quarterback, they ain't gonna repeat a damn thing except for repeat losses.
Yeah, you want to see something pretty?
I can't see that.
It's too bright.
It's like way too bright. There it is. Okay, yeah.
41-7.
Oh god damn.
God damn. Hey, but okay. But speaking of the channel, man, anybody's more than welcome to hop in on my free time on those hangouts. But other than that, you can't just come on my channel and disrespect me. If you're going to be a good sport, come in as a good sport.
Yeah, Sajin's always been a good dude.
He's always been respectful.
He never comes in. I mean, and that's what I'm saying. Like, when people come to my channel and they're not 49er fans, come in, talk a little shit. It's cool. I'm all right with that.
But don't step the line.
But yeah, you cross the line and I'll put your ass in timeout. I can give a fuck. But
you like a healthy debate. You just don't like bullying, and that I always have respect about you.
Yeah. What he said? Tommy Ugly said they won't win shit this season. I'll bet 400 on it right now.
Hey, Tommy's gonna bet $400. He's probably gonna.
Hey, look, man. Look, the Rams aren't gonna repeat, bro. I'm sorry. I don't see them doing so. Plus, it's hard to repeat it. The last back-to-back champions we have are the fucking Patriots, and I don't even know how long ago that was.
Oh, sorry.
It was
all right.
Wasn't that the 2000s?
0304.
Yeah, that was in the 2000s.
0304.
Yeah, sorry, Pale. You're not gonna get a repeat. Sorry, buddy.
So the Rams. Look at the way they're playing. Look at how tough their schedule is the rest of the way out. Are they actually going to make the playoffs?
Maybe. Maybe as a wild card.
They might be, because the NFC South is a hot mess right now.
Yep.
The NFC East is up and coming, but it's just too many bad quarterbacks. And the North, it's really going to be 2 or 3 teams. So, and the West isn't the same anymore.
Well, you get in the West, you might just get 2 teams out of it, but
you're trying to say something, King?
Oh yeah, so like the NFC is somewhat of a little, I don't want to say cakewalk, but it's not super challenging like how the NFC in terms of like talented teams, quarterbacks. Mm-hmm. Lamar Jackson won a recent MVP, and he's probably the 6th best quarterback in the AFC itself. So that says a lot about the depth. You know what I'm saying? So
Josh Allen's going to be MVP, I bet you.
Yeah,
I don't really care, because usually whoever's MVP is not Super Bowl MVP. That's not being a thing. So
this is why I want
whoever be MVP.
This is why I want Josh Allen to be MVP, because usually the NFL MVP doesn't win the Super Bowl. And then the Niners play the Bills. Boom, we're Super Bowl champions, and we beat them in Arizona for revenge. That'd be a great prediction. Remember, we played them in Arizona.
Yeah.
That makes a good storyline. Remember, we almost played a close game with Nick Mullins?
Yep, Nick Mullins.
There's an Alex Smith commercial on right now. This is just so trippy.
Hey, but we're
slippers.
Hey, we're definitely on the 1 hour mark, guys. If you guys want to keep it going, let's keep it rolling, or you guys are good.
I'm having fun.
Yeah. Let's go for a couple more minutes then.
Sure.
All right, King. What you gonna say, King?
Yeah, man, we got a primetime game. That means everybody got to be on their best game. Everybody's going to be watching. We facing the Broncos. Yeah, righty horsey, you know.
Did you see there's two big injuries over there? Jerry Jeudy has a sternum rib injury, and Patrick Surtain got hurt too.
Yeah, so we might benefit from that, even though I don't want
to.
Yeah,
we definitely will, man. Because if all I got to do is guard Cortland Sutton, I can put Mooney on him and not be worried about it. That's definitely a good thing.
And their tight end's decent, but he's not all that. Like, he's all right.
Yeah, I'm not. And the thing is, I'm not worried about this because Russ is still. His first couple of weeks have been rough.
Melvin Gordon's gonna fumble.
It ain't Russ looking like Russ, man. It's looking like he took a step backwards as far as that goes. So,
but they didn't even look that good against the Texans.
He got his Walmart money. Yeah. He's got his Walmart money paid. So
Russell Wilson. Hey, Russell Wilson is looking like Russell Westbrook right now. You know, he's
right. He is not playing that well.
He's looking like Carlton Banks out there with the dancing.
For real. Russell Wilson hiking the ball, talking about it's not unusual to be loved by anyone.
So Russell Wilson and the Broncos struggles. Does anyone else here think that he is a system quarterback?
You know what? I'll say that I need to see I need to see the full year. If there's no progression, then yeah, I could see that being a realistic point of view. I agree with you.
I think Russell Wilson is like Ryan Tannehill. It worked while it worked, and then when it doesn't work, it just never could go back to working.
Yeah, it seems like it.
And it sounds like he wasn't actually very well liked in that locker room now. Seems like a lot of guys were basically saying they didn't care for him.
You see all of them turning on him, saying that he's a hightail diva and that they didn't like that he had to have everyone in his entourage flown out first class and had entire floors full of all his people everywhere he went.
I mean, I can see if you do that for like your immediate family. I get that, but other than that, like what? Like I'm not about to fly out all these people.
Like
you want to do that?
Different,
you
like security guards and
you pay for that shit. You got big money
stuff. So
as much money as Russell Wilson make, no motherfucker, you got it.
Hey, he's got it made. He's got it made in Denver, and Denver's pretty cool to chill at. But guess what, man? If we come up with a win for sure, man, I'm gonna come up with the motto like Russell says, and I'm gonna just do a little short clip and say, "Hey, let's ride."
Oh, please don't.
Oh yeah. We don't have to say it just to mock him. That's the whole point. We win. We come on the round check next week, and we look at him. We go, "Let's ride." Let's ride.
Well, I'm eating myself then if I hear that. That's almost as bad as that freaking Tasty Hasty and all the weird shit that they do.
Hey man, he's corny, man. It is what it is. He's a corny motherfucker.
Oh, and then when it comes up pretty soon, instead of those horns up, we're gonna put horns down week when it comes down to those lambs. Horns down, like the Sooners say. That's why I like horns down symbol, because that means we put the horns down.
Hey, can I ask you guys a question? If Jeff Wilson Jr. is our leading back on Sunday, am I the only one that's worried about Mile High and it being in the mountains in the thin air as our main running back? Especially if DDP's hurt and they don't want to use Jordan Mason.
Not good.
No, we got Marlon Mack, somebody that knows the system, so we'll probably just use some other backs, but we'll probably use Debo in some package, which we did.
Yeah, I think what's going to happen next week is they're probably going to it's going to be a heavy dosage of Jeff Wilson Jr. and Debo. Honestly, it should be a heavy dosage of Jeff Wilson Jr. and Mason, and Debo should be the third option, not the second. But I think because Shanahan's so sold on that's what's going to happen. I don't think it was an issue. It kind of sucks that Jordan Mason didn't get many touches, but now with this injury to TDP, high ankle sprains take a few weeks, and Jordan Mason is poised to break out as long as Kyle gives him the opportunity. And then, to be honest with you, we need to make sure that Anthony Lynn is saying, "Fuck that, Jordan, get in there."
Well, he's gonna play.
See, that's the other thing that's never made sense. Like whenever things go hinky, Kyle always says it's the position coaches that decide the players that get to play. But then why the hell isn't Anthony Lynn's favorite playing? It makes zero sense.
Mm.
So to me, it's really, really hinky.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, hey guys, I'm about to head on out, y'all.
Yeah,
let's go. Hit that hour.
All right, man. All right, appreciate it, King. We'll see you next week, man.
All right, y'all. Have a good one.
All right, guys, we're about to end this, bro. This was fun. Really fun.
Yeah, it was a good one.
Definitely.
Yeah, it was. But this coming week, man, next week, we're going to have something. Let's see how this goes, man. Let's see how the outcome goes. Maybe we'll do this. Let's ride.
Oh, yeah.
And you guys, if you need the link itself, I have both Jesse's and Brandon's link for Get Playback, and they both have their own Get Playbacks for the games and the live feeds.
Yeah,
Okay.
I might need to do that maybe by this week, yeah. Because I'm probably going to be...
There's just one glitch. You have to sign in with your cable provider, because if you don't, it kicks you out after 10 minutes. And you can still see the hosts and the way they talk, and you can see them physically and stuff, but then the actual feed itself dies out. So unless you want that to happen, you have to log in with your provider, whether it's Peacock, YouTube Plus, Hulu, whatever cable version it is where you live. It'll give you the different options. And when I did it, I have Optimum. I don't know if Optimum is where you guys are at, but it just wanted my username. So sometimes it'll ask for your entire full email address and your password, and then other times it just wants the username and the password.
All right, well, I'm gonna have an issue with that because I don't have no cable provider for that service that I'm in, so that might be the only problem. But okay. Hey guys, well, let's just end it, guys. I know you guys got some stuff to do, and I know you guys want to check out the game. So, all right. So
I got this here, and I got the main TV with the Eagles game.
Okay. Well, Dion, say what you gotta say.
Hey man, very simple. Check your boy out, Niner Gang Podcast. Check me out on YouTube. You can find me on Spotify, Apple Music, all that good stuff. I just say that let's hope that next week we have a good game. Let's keep our heads up for a win. Continually praying for Trey Lance and the speedy recovery. Hope that the young man heals up fast, and we're ready for him next year.
For sure. David, say what you got to say.
Dave, you good?
Dave, you can say what
I was just thinking about the fact that Jimmy G is our QB for the rest of the season.
Sorry.
And I am seriously convinced he can't win the big game. So, I mean, prove me wrong, Jimmy G. Prove me wrong. Straight up.
Okay. Well, Melissa, you're next. Last but not least, you're the great one. So I got to put you
I'm really not anything special, but thank you. All the people who think that Kittle is playing favorites and he's waiting for Jimmy, I need to remind you once again that the first presser he ever had this year, he said he saw him one time in Vegas, and it was sheer happenstance that they just happened to be there. Passed, said hello, goodbye, whatever in the hallway, and went their separate ways. They don't talk anymore. They're not close anymore, but he will never say one bad word about him because A, he is a professional, and B, to this day, he still will not say one bad word about Brian Hoyer. This is just who George Kittle is. So I cannot wait for the rest of the players to get healthy, the George Kittles, the Jason Verretts, and everybody else that's gotten dinged up that will be back this year. So We got 2 straight night games, so everyone can watch easy, which I'm appreciative of. And I cannot wait to see this defense play and ball out because I love this defense so much.
Yeah.
And I'm even wearing this shirt. This is Stronger Together that I won on Raya's show because I honestly believe that if we all have each other's back right now and we don't let all the negative Nancy's in our lives, we'll actually enjoy this season, whether we think that it's not going to go the way we wanted it to with Trey. So Jimmy sucks. I hate he's here, but it's more than the quarterback. So
I love Jimmy John's, if that's the best way to say Jimmy, but I do like the Jimmy John's sub sandwich, not the Garoppolo. I just had to throw that out there. But
and thank you guys for making a fun podcast because I've really been trying to avoid Twitter and everything, and this has really helped my spirits. So thank you.
No worries.
Twitter's an absolute civil war right now.
When isn't Twitter in a civil war?
And YouTube
I actually have a Twitter, but I'm not active. I don't follow anybody. There's a reason I don't want to get involved in there. I mean, there's a reason for that.
And too many YouTube comments with these stupid hates. I just can't pay attention to them no more.
Well, but, like I said, if anything even says 10 on it, I scroll right past it because I already know whatever it is, pro him, against him, I really don't need that anymore. So if you do have a Twitter, if you do want to just get caught up or see who's injured, who's back, who's whatever, it's one of the main reasons why I started a Twitter, just to like have that kind of like first knowledge. Know your battles, know your strengths, and just know when not to get involved. Because people are going to feel how they feel. I can say blue in the face how many times that Kittle is just a supporter of all quarterbacks. And there are going to be people like Dion who genuinely believe that he's shipping Jimmy, and that's perfectly valid. That's how they feel. I'm not going to change their opinion. Just like all the Juice people who love Juice know that I'm not going to back down.
I'm not going to back down on Jimmy Ward either.
So just let be. Let them have their time. Let them vent. Let them overreact. Whatever they want to do, you do you. And just at the end of the day, my one plea is for all fans: enjoy the team, but please, above all, check your emotional and mental health, because it is not okay for yourself to be made miserable because you think that you owe it to whoever to listen or read or take in their stuff when they're just being a fan who's emotional right now.
All right, let's just end it up, guys. We'll definitely catch up next week.
See ya.
All right,
Later.
peace, y'all.